G'day Maths Legends. Today we're going to be looking at triangle numbers. Now triangle numbers can be a little bit tricky. So what we're going to do is first of all we're going to find out what a triangle number is and then how we can identify a triangle number. We're going to be applying formulas to help us find out whether numbers are triangle numbers or not. Alright, this is the first time you learned this one, so you might need to watch the video more than once. Alright guys, good luck. Okay guys, here's an example of what triangular numbers are. And you can see that these guys are actually triangles. So as you work your way through here, you can see each one of these numbers is a triangle, okay? Now, where the pattern was, well, you can see a pattern straight below before, because you can see it's 1, then there's 2, then 3. Let's look for those patterns though. In the first one, it's not really a triangle, it's just 1, isn't it? It's just 1 dot. Then by adding another 2 dots, I've got 3 dots. Then by adding another 1, 2, 3, I end up with 6 dots. And then I add another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I now have 10 dots. Then if I add another 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I end up with 15 dots. So effectively, these are triangle numbers, okay? I'm going to go through these a little bit more detail with you. Let's have a look at the first one. So as I add my very first dot, okay, that is a 1. You can see there's just only 1. Over here, if I add another 2 to that 1, okay, I've got my 1 here, so I repeat the same, then I add another 2, end up with 3. And as you can see, what I'm actually doing is I'm drawing the same pattern again, okay, but then what I'm doing is I'm adding more dots to the side. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm adding more to the side. So we've got 6 dots now. Okay, and then I take the same pattern, draw it exactly the same as what I had over there, exactly the same as my previous pattern. Okay, and then I finish off simply by adding 1 dot to the top, 1 dot next to that one, 1 dot next to there, 1 next to there. You can see there's an extra layer. So as I go through here, 2, 2, then I add an extra layer of 3. Okay, I've got my 3, add an extra layer of 4. I add my 3, I've got my 4, and then I add my 5, okay? And that ends up with 15 dots, okay? So I know that's a tricky concept, but hopefully, guys, that makes a bit of sense. So triangle numbers are 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. So triangle numbers, so that's a triangle number. So if I ask you to identify a triangle number, they're what they are. That's what they are. So you can see that there is 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. Okay, so as time moves on, that's my triangle number. Okay. Let's have a look at this picture here. It's a little bit easier to read. So we can see that from this point here, from the first dot, okay, I've added plus 2. So I've added 2 dots. Okay, that leaves me with 3 dots. Then, to get from this point here to this point here, you can see my original shape is here, okay? I've now added 1, 2, 3 dots, okay? From this point here, okay, you can see I've added, my original shape is here, all right? Then we count up those dots, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've added 4, and then without having to count it, this is where I start to use my hacks, but I also use my formulas that I'm adding. I can see that there's a bit of a pattern here. And then to get to there, I've got plus 5. All right. Now we start out, we've got 1, then we have 3, 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 4, there's 10 dots there. And then 10 plus 5 is 15. Okay, so you can see those dots there. Now, I just want to show you this one little thing. Let's say that I add the first one. The first one, I add the first one and 1 to it. So it's 0 plus 1 equals 1. Then I add the next one. 1, okay, plus 3. So I'm adding each interval together, all right? So plus 3 equals 4. Then 3 plus 6 equals 9. I've done it again. Equals 9. All right. And then 6 plus 10. 6 plus 10 equals 16. Okay. And then 10 plus 15. 10 plus 15 equals 25. And if you look at those numbers there, I've got my square numbers. They're my square numbers. 1, 1 is 1. 2 2s are 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, so you can see my square numbers of my patterns there when I add each intervals together. That helps us with our formula as we progress into the next part of this, okay? So it's really important to understand when we're looking at those triangle numbers that we're looking for patterns and we're looking for where we can apply formula, because we don't want to have to keep adding all of those dots together. We want to apply a formula, okay, so that we don't have to do that when we have to count, when we've got a triangle that's full of, when the question is how many circles does it make to make this triangle, if it's 40 steps over here, we don't want to have to count each one of those and each one of those circles. We want to apply a formula. Okay, let's have a look at that now. Okay guys, let's have a look at the formula now. You can see down the bottom, I have 2 triangle numbers. Now remember, 3 is a triangle number and 10 is a triangle number. So by calculating how many circles are on the sides, okay, how many circles are on the side, I'm hoping that I come to my final answer with the formula is my triangle number, okay? And that way you can calculate large numbers, you can calculate if they're a triangle number or not. So we're looking at a bit of algebra here. We're looking at this formula, okay? The formula is triangle number, so Tn, so triangle number equals, all right, so we're looking at n, all right, bracket, n plus 1, close bracket, over 2. So now that I've got my formula, it's simple from here. I just plug in the numbers that are down here, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do that with the very first sum. So you can see over here that I've got 2 dots. So I've got 1 dot. I'm going to use a proper pen so you can see it clearly. 1 dot, 2 dots for the first one. All right, so for the first one, it's going to be Tn equals, so I'm not going to use the letter N, okay? Instead of the N, I'm going to count how many circles or how many dots I've got on the side, and I have 2. So it's going to be 2, all right? So again, I'm going to go over that again. I'm substituting the N in my formula, the N, I'm substituting with how many dots I've got on the sides, okay? Because we're looking at an equilateral triangle here, same equal sides. So there are 2 circles that create this triangle here. So I'm going to plug in the number 2, okay? Then I'm going to open my bracket and it's going to be 2, because remember, n for this question, n on this question is 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? All right, let's go through that again. 2 plus 1, close bracket, over 2. All right, so then I go to my next row. Now I know that I start with my brackets. So my bracket is 2 plus 1 is 3. So then it's Tn equals 2 with 3 in the bracket over 2. And 2 times 3 is 6. So 2 times 3, because when it's a bracket like that exists next to it, I times that number. 2 times 3 is 6 over 2. And 6 divided by 2 equals 3. And that gives me my triangle number. All right, let's have a go at that and let's try, I want you to have a go, actually, and plug in the 4, my 4 dots on the next one, okay? Have a go at that now. All right, hopefully you've had a go. If not, pause it now, have a crack. All right, let's have a look. So I'm looking at my formula again, that is Tn, n plus 1 over 2. So Tn equals, so I'm substituting my n up the top there. I'm substituting that n with how many dots I've got on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4. Open bracket, then it's 4, because I'm substituting the n with the amount of dots I've got on the side, which is plus 1, over 2. All right, let's have a look at that. So 4 plus 1 is 5. So, okay, now I've got to do my next level now. What I'm going to do this time is I'm actually going to change the colour of my pen, because I'm just cautious that we've got lots of the same colour here. So let's look at the next one. So it's going to be Tn equals 4, open bracket, 4 plus 1 is 5, close bracket, over 2. So the next one, 4 times 5. 4 5s are 20, and then over 2, because I'm bringing this one across to here. Okay, so instead of that being 4 times 5, that equals 20, and I've just put it over here. I've rewritten it just to make sure it's a little bit clearer for you. And 2 divided by 10 is, 20 divided by 2 equals 10. So that way, if we do it this way, we can tell whether a number is a triangle number or not by applying this formula. So we use the Tn equals open bracket, n plus 1, close bracket, over 2, and that gives us whether we've got a triangle number. All right, good luck, guys. I hope that made sense. Feel free to watch this one again.